reached the Code Enforcement Division.
Code Enforcement, this is Mike. How can I help you?
Hey, Mike. My name's Andrew. How are you doing today?
What can I do for you?
Yeah, I'm just trying to find out a little bit more about code. A code called 42.00 subsection I.
Driver ball glasses. Give me 1 second. Hold on a minute. Let me turn my radio down.
No problem, Mike.
I apologize. You have a question about what code now?
Yeah, I was notified by Tarpon Springs Police Department about the ordinance, code enforcement ordinance, 42.00 subsection I, which states that anyone living in an RV needs to be in a permitted RV park.
So 42 is the parking of recreational vehicles in residential areas.
Right. And I.
I is, give me a second, I'm thinking it's like no recreational, let me look it up so I give you the exact verbiage.
Yeah, I mean I have it in front of me.
Vehicle shall be used for living, sleeping, or housekeeping purposes except within an approved recreational vehicle park.
Right, and so I was looking for the approved recreational vehicle parks within the city of Tarpon Springs. So I called Planning and Development to find out where those are. She said that none of them exist in the city. Do you know of any inside the city?
I mean, we don't. I know we have like mobile home parks, but those are like the ones that are on blocks. They're really not the ones that people tow or drive.
Right. So, and the reason I'm asking is because obviously there's been some damages to homes with the hurricane in the area. I live in the area, and I have to live in an RV right now with my autistic daughter because it's hard to find housing. Autism is not really the easiest thing to house sometimes when people are close by each other. So,
and the city, we actually are sort of allowing for people. We've sort of relaxed the rule, but there's some specific caveats to it. So, like, for instance, normally this rule comes up when people own a RV and they put one, in their front yard or something.
Right.
Normally we don't allow it.
Right.
But right now with the storm, so like I've got quite a few people, their houses are in the middle of being gutted and worked on, so they're living in an RV in their front yard or in their backyard and things like that. So I'm able to actually relax that rule, but it depends on where you are. So because obviously I'm usually the guy that deals with these. So who?
Right.
Was
So
it an officer that came up to you?
Yeah. It was an officer. I think it was just he saw us in an RV. My dad lives in Forest Ridge, which is just outside the city, and we were living inside the city. At a friend's house. The friend's house was damaged, so we got an RV and moved. I have an autistic daughter, so we didn't know where to go. There's only 55 and older parks, so we tried Mossy Oak, and that's right outside. I guess that's Pasco County, but it's right outside Tarpon. And that one, the lady who owns it didn't want any families or something. It was all like retirees and things. And that's really been the essence of the struggle and trying to find a way to be in compliance with the ordinance. Hickory Ridge was fine until the storms hit, but obviously the storms hurt them pretty bad too. And so the essence was that when the officer, he was nice about it. I didn't even know the ordinance existed, but I mean I always want to comply with ordinances when something exists like that. So I called, just to make sure, can we come into compliance? Is there an RV park inside the city where I'm not moving outside the city where we can move this RV and not bother anybody? And it doesn't sound like there's a current solution. And we'll be gone. We'll be moving out. My dad, he's getting older, so we'll be in his house eventually. But right now it's just I just wanted to find out what was going on in the ordinance. So the ordinance is there basically for when things are running correctly. There hasn't been a storm and everybody can have their houses and stuff.
And currently, like I said, right now we're sort of allowing it, provided that your RV is on the property of like a home that's damaged.
Oh.
And you have permission to be there. So like if your buddy's house was damaged and they are okay with you keeping the RV on their property, that would be okay. Like, but
Well, how would I come in?
Wherever you are
He
now
went
is
up to he went up to West Virginia. How would I come into compliance? So yeah, let's make this the hypothetical that there is that property. I can't go to that property. I need to find an RV park in the city to be in compliance with the city ordinance, and you don't have one in existence.
Yeah, right now, no, we don't have. Unless you were able to get one of the RV parks, like the mobile home parks, if they have a slip that and they were willing to allow you to park and hook up.
Right.
Those are the RV parks. I'm just not familiar with them enough to know if they have spaces for mobile ones. Most of them are those manufactured, where
Right.
they're like in place.
Yeah, there's
But
stationary units.
you could start talking with them and kind of seeing if they have any availability or open spots.
Sure, I will definitely give them a call and see what's available. I mean, I just when the police officer brought up the ordinance, I told him I wasn't trying to be rude, but I told him, I said, I have no problem complying with the ordinances, but the ordinance can't be get out. The ordinance can't be, it's got to be possible to comply with. I mean, that's what enforceable. And now with Senate Bill 170, it's important that cities understand that you can't have an ordinance they can't comply with. I mean, they're providing $50,000 in legal fees to people who can challenge such an ordinance. So
but here's but this is kind of how I would, is that ordinance he's citing, you got to remember that technically the way code enforcement works is, depending wherever you guys are staying, like I said, I wasn't the one who rolled up
Right.
on you, so I'm sort of speculating. But that ordinance violation doesn't really go against you. It's going to go against whoever owns the property you were on.
Right.
So what they're going to do is if that officer ends up saying, all right, well, I'm going to cite the property owner for violating that city ordinance for the improper storage of an RV.
Right.
They're then going to call the police and say, all right, well, I want to trespass you and your family, and this is going to become a whole mess.
Or they'll challenge it, as an unenforceable ordinance because there's no way to comply with it. So yeah, you're right. It would be a mess. Either way, it would be a mess. In an idealistic situation, on my part, I would expect that if an ordinance is if you can come into compliance with the ordinance, then you do so. If it's impossible to come into compliance with the ordinance, then it's just not enforceable till the possibility exists. And I think the law really stresses that same point. And SB 170 obviously adds the injunctive capabilities when there's a challenge made too. So hopefully that's not a problem. I'm calling you to find out basically what the guy was talking about more than anything, and how can we come into compliance to make everybody happy. But yeah, it doesn't sound like there's a problem yet, and I will definitely find out if we can come into compliance by finding a mobile home park that has some slips or something. I'll start making those calls now and see if we can do that.
All righty.
All right, I appreciate you, Mike. You have a great day today now. All right, now. Take care now.